This is Sports Talk on TriadSportsCoverage.com.
Jake Ruggles. Good evening, Jake.
Good, how are you?
See, he's got a fan club that follows him around the country. He's a future NASCAR, probably a Sprint Cup champion in a few years. What do you think, Jake?
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully. We're coming to you tonight from Buffalo Wild Wings in Concord, North Carolina, the racing capital of the world, I guess, in Concord, North Carolina.
Yeah, pretty much.
And we're here as a benefit to raise money for the Rowan Southern Baptist Association, which at this time of year, it's these organizations that do so much for so many people. It's really important that folks get behind these operations and help raise money so they can take care of those who are less fortunate. And we want to thank Shelby for inviting us down here. That's Jake's mom to have a fundraising show here on TriadSportsCoverage.com. We've had usually we have shows around Winston-Salem. This is our second time coming to Buffalo Wild Wings, and we had a great time. It was a lot warmer, I think, when we were here, wasn't it, Jake?
Yeah, just a little bit, I think.
We drove down from Winston-Salem, and if you're on I-85 between Concord and probably around Salisbury, you're probably parked in both directions. It's unbelievable, the traffic. It's just, we couldn't believe we weren't moving for I don't know how long. So it reminds me of traffic when the World 600 is going on in Charlotte, all the cars lined up. But we're here tonight to talk about some racing. Obviously, there's a big race this weekend in Salisbury for the NCQMA hosts the Carolina Fall Nationals. It's quarter midget racing at its best. And Mr. Ruggles here is he's retired from quarter midget. So you're already retired. You're only a young man. How does that work? I mean, I'm old and I'm not retired.
Yeah.
But you're still driving.
Yeah, I'm still driving. This year I ran the Allison Legacy Series, and so did I last year. And in 2015, I'm going to be moving to a limited late model, so I'm excited about that. Now,
on the Carolina Fall Nationals, you raced in a couple of those, I guess, when you were coming up, or?
Yeah, actually, I won my first one my first year in 2009. I was 8 years old. I won the Junior Novice Carolina Fall Nationals. I think there was 16 drivers out of that. And then I raced quarter midgets all the way till I was 12 years old. Wait, no. Yeah, 12 years old in 2012, and I won that too in the light 160. So
you're kind of used to winning. So when you go to the next level, and you got a great crew chief, I think, don't you?
Yeah.
Who is your crew chief?
My dad, Steve Ruggles. He's great.
And like I've told you before, when a car runs well, it's all driver.
Yeah.
And when it doesn't sit right, it's crew chief.
Yeah.
I tell these people at the quarter midget track all the time, these kids, when their cars doesn't handle it, because the crew chief doesn't know what he's doing. But if they win a race, man, it's all driving ability. Isn't that right, Mr. McKinney? Tonight here for the big quarter midget race. Are you going to be at the track this weekend?
I think so, yes.
Are you?
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it. I think I talked to a young man last night that great driver.
Oh, yeah, he's
and
great.
We have, I think, the Nick Loden, another great driver, is over here at the table.
Yep.
They pretend like they're not hearing us, but I know they do. And I think we have Abigail Kinney, who is another driver. And I think you guys help her out some at the track when she drives her quarter midget car. Is that right?
Yeah, well, the Kennys we're great friends with them, so we like to help Abigail with her racing as much as we can.
She's a good driver, and winning those quarter midget races, and you've driven a lot of them. It's tough just to show up and win a race. I mean, there's a lot of competition at that track.
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
And sometimes I was asking someone last night. I was over at practice, and I asked them how much does it take as far as a driver to win these races versus having a great car. I know you raced a lot, and it's not always just having a fast car. You got to know how to drive it, don't you agree, to get around that little track?
Yeah. Well, I mean, our cars, they're never super fast, but we're always right there. Mm-hmm. But just being consistent is what wins races.
I was watching a couple of kids practice yesterday from out of town, and, of course, when they come in here, they have to get used to this track because this track is unique in the way it's set up. And you could see when they first went out, they were all over the track. But by the time they got through practicing and they figured out what the line was, and I guess they did that almost perfect circle around the track. Get up near the wall and hit the corners low. And I was timing a lot of them. You could see them knocking off a tenth about every other lap.
Yeah.
Once they got, they got it figured out that this is where I got to drive, you would see them pick up time each time they came around, which, of course, driving on the track by yourself is one thing, but when you got 11 other cars on a small track like that, I'm sure it takes a lot of patience, a lot of awareness, what's going on around you. Is that something that, as you've grown in racing, a lot of people tell me if you can drive a quarter midget car on a small track, you can drive most anything because of the intense, attention you got to pay to detail. I mean, you don't have a lot of time to think on a quarter midget track.
Yeah.
You're always doing something. Do you find that was something that you learned as you drove at this level, that when you go to a bigger car? I was talking to Ryan Repko, who drives a limited late model. He says things at that level seem like almost in slow motion compared to what you were doing in these little cars. And to me, it takes a lot of ability for these kids, and I'm amazed at how they can jump in the car, go around, and really not hit anybody, not have any wrecks, and just race. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, when I moved up in the Allison Legacy Series, I was like, Dad, it's so slow. What is happening? But, yeah, it's a whole lot bigger track, and it's a faster car, but it's a bigger track, and just feels a heck of a lot slower.
Now, driving a full-body car in Allison Legacy Series, did that change your driving style, knowing that you could rub up against somebody and it's not going to end your day? Did you drive any differently in a Legacy car than you did quarter midgets?
Well, towards the end of this year, I did a little bit. I did a little more rubbing and racing, but, I mean, you got to keep it clean. Like, I've always kept it clean in racing and all. So, I mean, yeah, I carried that from quarter midgets out into the Legacy Series. Yeah,
it's important that you earn the respect of your competitors, and going out and wrecking them is not the way to earn their respect, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I guess they race you the way you race them.
Yeah.
And you hear a lot of drivers say that. And in order to, they also say in order to finish first you got to finish, and if you're up against the wall, it's not going to do you any good. So.
Yeah.
But now you seem like a very mild-mannered young man. What does it take to get you riled up on the track, that you really are frustrated?
I don't know.
You ever get not really upset, but kind of disgusted at another driver because of something he did to you or did around you?
Yeah, I have quite a bit in the past.
What do you talk to him about it after it's over and kind of get it settled right there?
Yeah, after a little while.
Because you don't want to carry a grudge and come back in a week or two later and still have that anger build up, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good way to do it. I think we're going to have some guests on our show eventually. I think my director was walking around getting names. We're going to take a commercial when we come back. Now, who's our first guest going to be?
Jordan Smithson.
Okay, so we'll have Jordan Smithson to be on the show. When we come back, we'll do a 30-second commercial.
Hi, this is Miranda McKinney, Athletic Director at Winston-Salem Christian School, and you're listening to TriadSportsCoverage.com.
Hey, it's Big E, and I'm here with the 2013 Barbecue Pitmasters Alabama champions Ricky Wayne and Pig Daddy of Bibbs Downtown. Gentlemen, what's it like being reality stars?
Hey, it's almost as good as Bibbs Ribs, baby.
We're not Eastern or Western. We're Western.
I'll tell you one thing, I never trust a skinny cook, and these guys got it going on.
Hey, you can bring your family in, or if you like Biggie, come on in on Friday and get your Bibbs fixed.
It's barbecue with a downtown vibe.
They've got dine-in, takeout, catering, and a private event space. Be sure to follow them on Twitter and Facebook, and you can always check them out at BibbsDowntown.com.
We're back live from Buffalo Wild Wings in Concord, North Carolina, on the eve of Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I hope your turkeys are in the oven and you're ready for a big day. we drove down from Winston-Salem, Donnie and Ellen and myself, and I think we talked a lot about football, which tomorrow's going to be nonstop football for all you dads, and the moms are going to be upset because the TV's on the football channel, but that's what Thanksgiving Day is turned out to be, really, is a football day. We have our first guest. It's Jordan Spiffson.
Yes, sir.
He's I think you're a friend of this young man in the middle, too. Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your driving experience and what you're doing today.
Well, I started in quarter midgets, just as Jake did. We started in the same year in 2009, and actually my first race was the Carolina Fall Nationals. I think it was like the fifth annual first Fall Nationals, and it was very enjoyable. I met a lot of awesome friends, actually long-term friends too, just that one weekend, and it was a great time. Moved up through the series, had 2 full seasons after that I did really well, and just grew and made friends. Had 3 awesome friends through the whole thing, and Jake was another one that was there, but I didn't get to race with him because of the age and stuff. But off the track, it was awesome. And right now, I just bought his backup car, Allison Legacy. So we just did a test a couple weeks ago, and it went really well. And I think we got a good year coming. And he's moving up into late models, and he can help me, finally. So I just finished quarter midgets and finished high school. I had a little break, about 2 years that I didn't run, and just got this car, so I'm getting ready to get excited to get back in the seat.
So you had a test already with the Legacy car?
Yep.
How did it go? How did you, because the last time you drove was probably a quarter midget.
Yeah.
You get into what seemed like a Cadillac, a big car.
Yeah.
How did it feel, and what did you have to do differently all of a sudden?
It was definitely a lot different, for sure. Just the size of the track. We walked the track when we first got there, and just walking around the track, your entry and exit and everything like that. In a quarter midget, it happens in a split of a second.
Mm-hmm.
This, you got to be real slow and patient with it, and it's difficult. But at the same time, you got to pick it up, just as fast as you would pick a quarter midget up. And we had fun with it, and I think we're going to do all right. And so, yeah, I think it'll be fun.
So he's going to move up to late model.
Yep.
And you're going to be driving in the Allison Legacy.
Yep.
Are you going to travel together? How does that work? Are you just 2 different teams? Or?
Yeah, I would hope so. I know Steve he just got a new trailer for Jake moving up. Got to get a bigger trailer, right?
Right.
So we got enough room in there. We can squeeze the car in. So hopefully we can travel together if the races line up at the beginning of the season.
Now, where did you graduate high school?
I went to Pine Lake Prep in Mooresville.
Okay.
It's a good school.
So what are your ambitions in racing? I know every kid, around this part of the country was raised on racing.
Yeah.
And, everybody in all the series. But is that something that you're looking to maybe someday move up into the bigger ranks and maybe get a chance to race a national series?
Well, I tell you what, Mike, like when I first started, me and my dad kind of set a deal where we weren't going to go all out. We were just going to have fun with it. And honestly, the 3 years that we did it, that's all we did was have fun. And we weren't never going to take it too serious. We had our times, just differences like everybody else does. But we had a good time with it, and that's the way I want to keep it. And I want to just keep it as a hobby, something to have fun with on the weekend, and have fun with Jake traveling and stuff, because races that I don't have, I help him, and I help some of these younger guys that are up here tonight. And it's an enjoyable time, so I'm going to keep it as a hobby. I just got a job at Stewart Haas Racing right now, and it's going real well. So, I don't want to take it as a career, but I like being in the shop and working on the cars as well. So
you're working at Stewart Haas?
Yes, sir.
Why didn't you pick a team that wins? Wait a minute, they did win.
Yeah, it was fun. I came in that Monday right after they won Charlotte, and I had found out that a week before that I had the job and I was accepted in there. And I tell you what, when he won Charlotte, I was like, I'm going in with a bang, that's for sure. But I brought him some good luck, I guess.
Well,
went through the chase and came down to a nail biter.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah.
I really like the way NASCAR has set the chase up. I mean, not everybody will probably agree, but I mean, up to the very last checker flag, it was a doubt what was going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that has got to be intense, the drivers. And what I like was the disagreements on pit road after the races where
yeah, it's always fun.
as long as no one gets hurt. But that's what draws people's attention to the sport, you know.
Yeah,
you ever been to Bowman Gray?
Yeah, I have, and that's a track that set an example for NASCAR right there.
I mean, that's where the pure racers show up, and they're not afraid to retaliate.
Yeah,
either on or off the track, you know. But they fill the stands up every Saturday, and that's good for racing.
Yeah.
But
there's a lot of guys that come out of there that, you know, they don't have all the money in the world, but they know that they're equal playing grounds because of the track there.
Yep.
And, you know, I know for me, I don't know about Jake, but not having all the money in the world, you know, you just got to have fun with it. You can't take it too serious. But Jake's moving up right now, and he's going to take it serious now.
Well, you know, that's interesting because the further you do go in any kind of sport, the talent level, it's more narrow, and there's more competition.
Yeah.
And you do have to take it serious. Now, at the quarter midget level, there's some people that do take it very serious, but you mentioned right off the bat that you made a lot of good friends. And I noticed that. I've covered this track 2 years. And I think the biggest joy is to watch these kids when they're playing off the track.
Yeah.
They just formed this fraternity, and they're bonded for life, you know.
Yeah.
And they don't care what happens on the track, even though some of the parents might.
Yeah.
They climb out of that car and they look for a football or a baseball, and they go over and they play.
Oh, yeah. And it's cool because the Carolina Fall Nationals is the way they do it too. Is, you know, you got kids coming from out of town, and no matter what, I always see kids that from out of town. You may not know them, but they're out there playing, and they'll do the same thing. They'll race against each other, and then they get off the track and they play.
Yeah, yesterday at practice, they had a bunch of kids from out of town playing football in the garage area, just having a great time. You know, they weren't even concerned about the race car.
Yeah.
And then Dad hollers, "We got to go testing." Okay, well, I'll go.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But that's what I think some of the people that are not familiar with quarter midget racing, once you come to it, I mean, when I came here 2 years ago, I kind of caught the bug, I guess, you know. And it's to me, it's so enjoyable to watch these unbelievably talented young 5, 6 year old kids that can wheel a race car.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and then you wonder, you know, someday will one of those, well, like Ryan Blaney came through this track. Now he's big time. I mean, real big time.
Actually, as soon as we came in 09, I think Ryan was just ending, and I remember watching him when I was in the rookie and the novice at the time it was, and just watching him and watching all these other bigger names guys that came up through and watching them race. I just couldn't believe, you know, the moves that they could do and everything. And I tell you what, there was only 4 drivers in my heavy class, and I can tell you what, every week that we could race so hard without cleanly race so hard and just come off the track and have a good time. And that's what I see these guys. I mean, they're making moves that I didn't even think of, and I mean, we were making some daring moves too, but you know, they do the same thing. They get off the track and they have fun with it. So
I saw some, I think it was red rookies racing, may have been blue rookies, but some of the moves those kids were making, one of them is actually Thomas McDonough. His dad works at Stewart.
Yep.
I mean, the moves he made to avoid contact, get around lap cars, because a lot of times that's what causes wrecks in the quarter midget.
Oh, yeah.
You got a car about a half second faster, you come around the corner and the track's blocked or somebody's not paying attention. But Thomas came around and he knew enough to stay away from the cars. You don't pass on the outside, but he did it cleanly and got around it. Oh, yeah. And that was a beautiful move because he told me after the race, he said, when I came down the backstretch, I knew those cars were in the way.
Yeah.
And he made the decision right then, okay, let's keep going. Yeah. And to me, that's impressive because, you know, when you have that ability, it's just a natural instinct. You're going to be a good race car driver.
Oh, yeah.
And I've seen these kids that want to pass the car in front of them, and they'll ride their bumper. But when they come to the corners, they let off a little bit because they've seen what happens when you go charging in the corner.
Oh, yeah. You can't go charging hard in the corner at all. And, you know, just the age. Like, I totally wish I was 6 and drove what these guys did because I didn't get into, like, doing go-karts and stuff till I was about 8. And me and my dad always said if we knew about it earlier, he said he would have had me in a car in no time. But I don't know what their mindset is when they're 6 years old. I don't know how they do it because I was like 12, 13 at the time when I was doing it. And it took all my mind to think about the moves I had to take.
Yeah, and to see some of these in this beginning, it'll be a big female sport too. And we got a lot of young girls that drive at the NCQMA. And they're just, it's like it's natural. They get in the car. And they just focus on what they're doing, and it's it amazes you how they can get around the track, and you can pass cars and you don't hit people. There's no mirrors, there's no spotters. How do you, and people say, well, you just go by the feel and you hear something around you. I guess that's being young and, and
exactly.
more alert.
They're going to make moves that they don't know that they did. But I don't think they realize the moves that they're doing that are so amazing for their age. And it's going to take them. I tell you what, anybody that comes from NCQMA, quarter midgets, you could race anywhere in the entire United States, and you can pick it up in no time.
I've been to a couple of national events and regionals, and people, they do think that, coming here and beating one of our drivers is a really good thing because they know that the best drivers, and plus they say you're in the hub of NASCAR, so you ought to be good.
Yeah.
You got all the technology.
Yep.
And a lot of people that race at NCQMA, their families work for a NASCAR team in some form or fashion. And, that brings knowledge. And plus it brings, I think, the kid's probably, first of all, he's probably proud that his dad works for a race team.
Yeah.
And then you bring that down to his level and he's driving. He's probably thinking, I'm like Tony Stewart, man. I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
It's really opened my eyes as far as, because my exposure to racing was a lot of local tracks when I lived out in the Midwest and in here, and it was adults, but this is so much more fun.
Oh yeah.
There's an element of this racing that you don't get anywhere else.
Oh yeah.
And always when we have our promo days and people come in for the first time, a lot of them leave with a car because they see what it's all about.
I know. Usually they do the promo days out there, and they do it like twice or
two times
a year, I think it is. And it's amazing that the next week I go to the racetrack, there's like 3 kids I didn't know, and I'm like, who are they? And sure enough, they're out there making moves. So I mean, it's awesome that they do the promo days out there at NCQMA. And
I think our largest group of drivers are red and blue rookies.
Oh yeah,
we've done a tremendous job.
It's how it's always
recruiting.
been too. I mean, it's amazing that the club can bring in those rookies and just develop them into these drivers that they're here tonight,
And you can see some of them are natural drivers as soon as you see them hit the track.
Oh, yeah.
They've never been behind the wheel of a car. I was at promo day, I think it was this one in the spring, and a young man was driving, and his mom was nervous. And I said, hey, this kid has hit every mark on the track, first time behind the car. He's turning great times.
Oh, yeah.
And he got out, and his smile was about that big, Well, they were already hooked, I think they're now driving in the red rookies.
Yeah.
But it's, and I think those cars are real safe. I mean, you mentioned go-karts, and a lot of people they kind of shy away from go-karts because they're not the safest.
Oh, they're not.
You don't have roll cages.
No.
You don't have safety features. And
no.
And I've seen some crashes at NCQMA that, the kid's hanging upside down laughing because it's just like a carnival ride.
Yeah.
I
took a pretty violent wreck right at the end of my quarter midget career, and it was pretty violent. But I was getting a little too big for the car. But we just wanted to run a couple more races just because we wanted to have fun with it. We had the cars there, and we didn't want to get rid of them. And I was pushing the age limit right there at the max, and it was like one of the last couple of races I was going to do, and it just didn't turn out too well. Went up on the fence and stuff. So, but it's all good. They're still safe cars no matter what. 5-point harness, arm restraint. It's all they're so tight in there. It's like a carnival ride for them.
And the safety requirements are just amazing. And I know that these kids. I think a lot of times the initial shock is what scares the kid when he has an accident.
Yeah.
And he's not really hurt. It's just. It shocks him for 5 or 10 seconds, and a natural reaction is to cry.
Oh, yeah.
So when a kid cries, the whole world thinks, oh, my goodness, we got a major accident.
Oh,
And there's a guy at the track who's a first responder. His name is Charles. He's one of these big dude.
Yeah.
He is such a calming influence. When these kids have the rollovers, he walks out. He knows how to talk to them, and he calms them down and gets their heart rate back to normal, and just talks to him very calmly and lets them know that you're not really hurt, you're okay. And before you know it, they climb out of the car, and that's what's cool about this kind of racing.
Yeah, it's really nice for sure. Like I said, they're safe for sure. It's just either the kid is, like you said, he gets scared and he'll start crying, or the kid, I've heard a kid say, that was awesome, I want to do it again.
Yeah.
That's the big quote when they flip over for the first time. So.
We do have a co-host with us. Do you have some questions you want to ask this young man? Because he's taking one of your old cars. And what if he wins more races in it than you did? What are you going to think?
Are you excited?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm excited for sure. I'm just glad to be back in the seat. It's been a long 2 years. And, it's going to be fun for sure, and it's going to be nice to have a mentor for sure.
Yeah.
And
wait, he's your mentor?
Yeah, it kind of switched. Yeah, I know it's kind of different, but at the same time, it's a cool deal for sure.
Yeah.
And,
Well, I'll say this to you: if you're half as nice a young man as he is, you're going to be okay.
Yeah,
'Cause
Jake's
he's an impressive young man. as
he's
far
a
as I
very
feel.
impressive, and I've always said, he's the maturest kid that I know, and for 13 years old, like I would have guessed he was 16 when I first met him.
That was something I was amazed at too when I first started watching these 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds race. When I would interview them after a race, they're like 16, 17-year-old kids. They're I think they mature quicker than maybe your stick and ball athlete because you have to be on your own in a race car, and you have to adjust to all kinds of adversity. You got to be able to respond quickly. I think that helps you grow up a little bit quicker.
Oh yeah, it does. The publicity stuff, like Mike, you guys do an awesome job at the track, especially for the kids, and it gets them introducing to interviews and such like that. And Jake's had an awesome time, and when he started doing interviews at the Allison Legacy Series, and finishing on the podium and having to do the interview and stuff, it's kind of cool to watch. And I never got to do that, and you guys do an awesome job with that. And I wish I had the same experience as these kids, So.
Should have come a couple years earlier.
Yeah, you could have seen some good racing for sure. I mean, these guys do some awesome racing. But it's fun.
In the 2 years I've been there, I hear a lot of stories about people like Jake and Trey Hutchins and Ryan Blaney and those kind of people. That a lot of them are, and of course Trey is in the Races of K&N series.
He was one of my big buddies this weekend and week out for sure. I mean, actually, I tell you what, the first race was Carolina Fall Nationals, like I mentioned. That was the weekend I met him, and I tell you what, the kid he was awesome. We parked right next to each other, and I met him, and I didn't know too much about him until the next season, and then we got more, and we started racing together and stuff like that, and he's just an awesome guy.
He's so mature. I remember I interviewed him at Ace Speedway when he was driving late model up there, and just so much more mature than his age.
Yeah.
And I think those are the kind of drivers that I think can go a long ways in racing.
Yeah.
Because as you know, and today the one big word is money for the big time. But you got to have a personality for the media, because you're selling a sponsor's products, no matter if it's indirectly or directly. And when someone sticks a microphone in your face and a TV camera, you better represent all these names on your uniform to what they expect. And we started doing these interviews at the track here, and it just kind of giving these young drivers a little bit of a taste of, even if they just end up driving on the weekend somewhere or a series, they're going to be interviewed on the track. And, when they finish on the top three, they'll come out in front of the crowd and they'll have to talk. And I think this is some good basic training for them to look forward to.
Oh yeah.
And it makes us, it makes us feel good that these kids they're just so well spoken about everything you ask them. And it's funny how some of the parents will say, you can try to talk to him or her, but they won't talk. And all of a sudden, you get them away from mom and dad, and you say the right word. It takes the right word. All of a sudden, they start talking. And Thomas McDonough is a good case.
Yeah,
you can give him the microphone, go back home for a couple hours, and come back, and Thomas will have the crowd rolling. But he's a good interview. But those are the kind of things that really I enjoy when a parent says, well, so-and-so, they're too bashful, they won't talk. And you can get them to talk. Because you got to talk about something they want to talk about. And it may not even be racing. A lot of kids won a race, and they don't really want to talk about that race. They want to talk about something else. You know? But it's really opened my eyes as to what racing is really all about, and how these young folks are going to be the future of what we see on TV. I mean, that's where it begins.
Yeah, and I tell you what, the best drivers come out of NCQMA too. I mean, you explained it too. Ryan Blaney. There's so many drivers that have came out of there that are just awesome. And Nick Drake came out of there, and Cole Custer did a couple races there, and the list goes on, and I can tell you what, any people that drive quarter midgets, it's mainly NCQMA is where they came out of that you're going to hear about.
And one of the good drivers that I've covered the last couple of years is Ryan Repko.
Oh, Ryan is an awesome kid.
He ran only a part-time schedule, and he won the most races this year at the NCQMA.
Oh yeah.
He's trying to get his limited late model career underway, and it's tough because as we said, as the further up you go, the tougher the competition gets, the harder it is to land a good ride, and it takes money. You know?
He's another kid to put on the mature list for sure. I mean, he's just like Jake. Kids are so mature, and you can see where it put him too, just the maturity of it. And he's an all-around good kid. I went through novice training with him also, and just to see how he's grown and where I ended up, where he went, and he just took it to a whole nother level. And I tell you something, when we came out of, I've told so many people this, is when we came out of novice training that day, I'll never forget, because we came up with the lawnmower trailer, and Ryan, I think, came up with something like that, and his dad said, the dad started talking, and my dad said, "So how'd you guys get in this?" Well, he said it was either piano lessons or it was this. So, and now you look at where he's at, and it's kind of like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was the right move for that family.
Yeah.
For sure.
But Jake's going to be running with them this coming season, and it's going to be cool because I've traveled with him a couple races this year, and just to experience the Allison Legacy program and stuff like that. And, seeing, bigger tracks and learning experience from him. And, he's a great kid to give me tips. We went and did our test. He was right there in turns 1 and 2, turns 3 and 4. No matter where he was helping me out. So,
did you teach him all your secrets, or did you keep some inside? Because you may be competing against him at a higher level someday.
Yeah, he's not going to be running. He's going to have to help me.
Yeah.
But don't tell him everything.
Yeah, I'm not.
Can't tell me every little secret, but... No, Jake's an awesome help. His dad, Steve, and the whole family, the whole crew, everybody's just awesome. And I like helping them. They help me out, so it's a win-win situation there.
So are you going to be at the track this weekend in CQMA?
Oh, yeah. Friday's going to be an awesome day to go watch, man.
Every time the National Series comes through, everything ramps up a little bit. The racing is, I guess I'll say it's more aggressive.
Oh, it's a lot more aggressive. You got to get every inch you can.
And everybody is there to win, and fortunately there's not been anything really seriously happen, but I mean there's some kids that are they're going to get to the front.
Oh yeah,
one way or the other.
Yeah, I remember the track's coming up again, and they went through the drought and everything, but back when they used to have G mains and stuff, I mean it's the same way that these kids race now, because they race so close together now that you got to get every inch you can in qualifying. Qualifying is the biggest deal, and that's really going to set how your weekend's going to go. And you got to have your stuff together for qualifying for sure.
But I've got a couple drivers that race in CQMA that I would hope they start at the back, because I've seen them lap fields twice. I mean, it's fun. And one of them's a rookie. As soon as that green flag drops, if he's in 7th, he'll be in 2nd before he gets back around the track. And I know people are going to say, well, he's pretty aggressive. Yeah, but he doesn't wreck anybody. He gets out there and he just says, put my foot to the floor and get around.
Yeah, we've all had the experience. Jake, I'm sure, has. I can't pick a race, but because he was always out front. But I know there was a couple fall nationals again that you mess up in qualifying or a heat race or something, and it wasn't your fault. You just happened to be in it, and you get shoved all the way back to the B main, and you were running just fine. And you just gotta keep your head focused, especially for B mains and lower mains tomorrow. The biggest thing for the kids is just keep their head in it and know where they got to finish. Don't go an extra mile if you don't have to. Just get in the show.
I was asking Jake earlier I want your opinion about how much of winning these quarter midget races is it a driver, and how much is it, because different cars go different speeds. People can tweak on them, but how much driving skill do you think plays into being a good quarter midget driver?
I can tell you there's a lot that goes through these dads. I mean, their minds are going more than the driver, but I tell you what, when the driver gets in it, there's a lot more driver than there is car. And it's a stock car. You can make a stock car go fast with any driver, I feel like. But any open wheel, these quarter midgets, everything, it's all driver. I mean, there's all kind of things like when you see the kids, these little kids got full containment seats, but when we were bigger, you could lean just a hair more and not a lot, just that little inch, and it helps you get right around the corner. It lowers the cross and does all kinds of things to the car that makes you go faster. And, that's your mindset that you got to have. It's just experience that comes along.
And I'm sure those young drivers, their minds going 1,000 miles, and they pick up on these little tricks that this works, wow,
Yeah.
And like you say, then you'll see them leaning, and that just brings that car around.
I remember when, cars start getting tight and you start biking, you just lean a little more, it keeps the car down, and, just things under caution, and knowing where to put yourself on restarts. Restarts are big, especially at our track, because you can get a lot. They've added a line since me and Jacob ran the restart line, and before you had to cut all the way down off turn 4 just to block the guy behind you, because if they got under you, you're going right to the back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So now they put that yellow line, and everybody has to cross the start-finish line above that.
Yep.
That prevents the 7th-place guy from beating the leader to the corner. And
yeah. And it helps out, too. I see why they did it. It's because I've seen some guys that come off the corner, and they end up wrecking, and then you got to pile up. And then you got a bunch of damaged cars.
Right.
And, it put it in as a driver's standpoint, but at the same time, I understand why they do it. But now you got to make your move off 2. And turn 2 is the place to watch for sure off restarts.
What do you think about them gigantic rumble strips in the corners?
Yeah.
When they made those bigger, and some of the drivers, and you can see when they hit those, sometimes they shoot right into the wall because the car just goes airborne.
I don't know what about you, Jake, but I remember the little rumble strips we had. We could almost bike. I mean, we biked over them.
Oh yeah, I was completely on top of them, just floating over them with my right side tires right on the white line.
That's when you knew you were fast for sure. I know.
Yeah.
We were both like that. When you can get that car to set in the corner and go over those rumble strips without touching them, you're in perfect shape for sure.
Yeah.
So, did you consider yourself an aggressive driver at quarter midget?
I'm not an aggressive. I
don't mean dirty driver.
No.
But you were just very.
Yeah, I get every inch I can. If I see there's an opening there, I'm going to go for it. And but I've learned over the time you got to be clean. When I first started, I was wrecking pretty bad and I was causing some damages. Actually, I created a great buddy by that because he pulled me all the way around the track like a wrecker would. And but you got to make those moves and learn from your mistakes. And that's what I did for the next following season, and I approved on that, and it helped out. You just got to be aggressive, but you got to be clean at the same time. You can't just throw it in there and then expect the car to turn. So,
especially at the big races like the Carolina Fall Nationals, the national races, you have to do that, or else you're not going to get anywhere, because everyone else, they're doing the same thing, so you're just going to be right under their level of aggression, so you got to try to beat that.
You guys ever try to get up on someone's bumper and maybe just break them loose a little bit?
Yeah.
Because, and then when they overcorrect, you shoot underneath and you go.
Yeah, I got a couple GoPro videos of that. But, I know Jake used to do that a lot.
I did that a lot when I was mad and coming through the pack after I got wrecked. But
if your car is faster, like when they race at Bristol or Martinsville on the NASCAR, if you know you're faster and this car keeps running your line and holding you up, I don't call that dirty racing. I just call that you have to get around them. You got to send a message that, hey, get out of my way.
And I tell you what, these drivers they're racing so close now, and I see it a lot more. I mean, I race with 3 other close drivers as well, but you got to get that extra inch every time. And just being in a pack and everything like that, you got to make the moves. But when you're behind them, sometimes you got to be patient, but at the same time, you got to go. So if you go in the corner and you hit him, but he drives off, just stay there. If you can ride behind him, just stay there. There's no reason to make a move, because sometimes they'll switch you back over, and then before you know it, you're in the back of the pack, especially with these big races.
What I like is when the Nationals come here and they have a 12-car field and they're double file. When they come down that back stretch, I mean, you just get goosebumps, just like it being at a big racetrack. And you just hope that when the green flag waves, all of them get around turn 1, because you're just almost connected on the bumpers, double wide and going on that small track. And I always worry, if someone in the middle sneezes, then you got a big pile.
You got a big pile of them. I know me and Jacob both went at least 3 wide, if not 4 sometimes. And
I've gone 4 once.
At that track, you've gone 4 wide?
Yeah, we've gone 4 once.
It's tight.
Wow.
Yeah.
I went 3, and I think I was in the middle when it happened, and I felt like I was about to get sandwiched.
So what do you just hold your line, hope nobody?
Yeah, you just gotta pinch the guy on the inside as much as you can, but you gotta watch, because that guy he'll turn right and expect the corner to be there. All of a sudden, he'll turn right and then send both of you back up the track, and especially open wheel. tires touch, you're done.
There's no room to hit anybody in open wheel.
Yeah.
And you'll get used to what he called rubbing and racing in those full body cars.
I know. I'll have fun.
Like they say, 8 wheels can take a corner better than 4. So, did you use that this year during your corner?
Yeah, a couple times.
times.
Yeah, I've seen him do it a few times. I mean, you got to be there. You got to know that. You got to let the guys know that you're not going to get roughed around. But at the same time, you don't want to do it so dirty. You just take them out. So
now, with these drivers coming in this weekend that are not regular drivers here, is that a concern that you don't know their style, you don't know their temperament, you don't know how they're going to react? Because you may know some of these kids. You've played football with them, but they raced all over the country, and they come in here, and their style may not fit what our drivers are used to. Do you ever get worried about some of those drivers?
Yeah, there's a couple of those drivers at these big races, but I don't know. You kind of watch them in practice. That's what I always usually did, watch their driving style, stay behind them or something. If you're fast to them, of course, go by them and just blow by them, But
just the best way to do it is blow by them, right?
Yeah, just blow by them. And then
show them who's boss.
Yeah.
We'll see you later. You want to take another commercial, Mr. Producer?
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you coming on. Good luck to you at Stuart Haas.
Yeah, I appreciate
Even though my son works for Childress, I'll say good luck to Stuart Haas.
It's all a competitive sport.
It is. It's fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on, and thank you for what you do as far as helping these kids. And you hooked up with the right guy here.
Yeah,
so
I got a good buddy right here.
Good luck to you next year. We may come to one of your races. I keep promising to come to one of you guys' races, but I'm kind of busy sometimes.
Yeah, I can tell.
But I would love to come out there sometime and cover one of your races. We'll try to make a point to do that next summer.
Well, thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you coming by and have fun.
Yeah, thank you.
See you at the track this weekend.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. That is Jordan Smithson, who was our first guest tonight. Give him a big hand. We're going to go to a commercial break, I think.
Hey, this is Leonard Burton, varsity basketball player from Winston-Salem Christian School. You're listening to TriadSportsCoverage.com.
Today, community means more than the place you live. It's groups of people connected by shared interests and similar experiences. Your yoga class, your work colleagues, your book club. With all the communities in your life, shouldn't there be one for your financial life? We're First Community, financial experts here to work with you on your personal, business, investments, and insurance needs. That's the power of community.
We are back live at Buffalo Wild Wings in Concord, North Carolina. We have another special guest, and I'm going to identify this young lady by the fact that her mom runs the best snack shack in the United States of America. There's no doubt about it. The food that they prepare is fresh. It's not frozen and put in a microwave. And that's just one of the treats you get at NCQMA. I mean, everything NCQMA does, they do it first class. And they've got people like Ed and Lola that spend countless hours doing things that nobody knows about to make that the best quarter midget track in the country. Yes, I'm talking about your mom and dad. And Miss Abigail Kinney has the headset on. Thank you for stopping by.
You're welcome.
And happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, too.
And good luck this weekend. I bet you're excited about the big Carolina Fall Nationals.
Yeah.
Is you been out testing your car this weekend, practicing it all?
Yeah, we went Tuesday. My dad got me out of school, and we went to the track. We did pretty good. The heavy Honda wasn't too good, but we had to go to basketball practice. And right when we got there, we found out that it was canceled because one of our players came in because they were watching somebody play a game, and we didn't get called to know that it was canceled.
So basketball practice was canceled, but you got to drive your car anyway. So
yeah.
Now, when you race these drivers from out of town, we were talking about a little bit ago, does that concern you that you don't know some of their driving styles? Because you've driven at NCQMA and you know everybody. They know when you're going to pass, when you're not going to pass, you know how you drive. Are you worried about any of these drivers that come in and they don't understand how you're used to racing?
No. If they don't understand, you just pass them.
Now, when we race on Friday morning, we'll start out with batch qualifying, I believe. Is that when you get excited about racing? I know when you're there on Saturday mornings, it's a long day when you have a race day on Saturday. But this is a special event, being a national event. A lot of drivers in. When are you going to really get excited and say, I want to get in the car?
When we get buckled in, and when they set the car down to the ground, I get so excited, just like, let me get over with this.
Well, can I ask you a question? Why does your mom never get excited when you're on the track? I never. Does she go hide somewhere? I never hear her.
She does. She stands.
And your dad stands there just looking at you, right? And then when you come off the track, do you tell him what was wrong with the car?
Yes.
But he's a pretty good crew chief, isn't he? I mean, he's kept you running all year. I mean, goodness, that's a pretty good accomplishment, I think.
Yeah.
Now, when you started racing, your dad was a drag racer, is that right?
Yes.
But now does he know how to turn left? Probably not, does he? He just goes straight.
No, he just goes straight.
Does he know when to stop? Because you go straight long enough and you don't ever get back home again. I think circle racing is more challenging. What do you think?
Yeah.
It's more fun too, isn't it?
Yes.
And when you're in the middle of a bunch of cars, what are you thinking about? I mean, it's hard, I know, to know what's around you, but like I was talking to Jake, it's amazing what you kids can do with a race car that people on TV can't even do sometimes on the big races. But what are you thinking about? What's your mind on when you're going around 3 or 4 cars around you?
You just have to stay focused, and you have to have enough experience to learn when they're going to pass you, or what you can get the hear of when they're passing you. But don't ever give them room. That's just the main thing that I've learned when people are passing me. Don't ever give them room.
You have to make them earn if they're going to get around you. Some of the spin outs and wrecks that happen on the quarter midget track, you get around that track so quickly. And how do you know to react quick enough? Because I've seen cars coming down the backstretch, somebody spun out in turn 4, and there's no spotters telling you there's a car sitting on the top. How do you look ahead far enough to kind of see what's going on ahead of you?
Sometimes I do.
Sometimes. Uh-oh. See, now your mom's making up stories about you. I don't think she should do that, right?
Yeah.
So you're looking forward to competing against some of the best in the country coming this weekend. Mm-hmm. What would it mean to you to win a first place in a Carolina Fall National?
It would be amazing to me if I just won a Fall Nationals. It would be such an accomplishment because I've never even.
But when they drop the green flag, you have as good a chance as anybody on the track.
Yeah.
And if you pay attention and hit your marks and don't overdrive the car, you can be in victory lane. Yes. That would be kind of neat, wouldn't it?
It would really be kind of cool to be in victory lane because I've never been in a victory lane in a national or regional race. So it would be really cool and amazing to me if I was in victory lane this weekend.
Jake, what advice would you give Abigail for her to accomplish that goal this weekend? What does she have to do Friday and Saturday?
Just go for it. I mean, that's the best thing you can really do. Just hit your marks, be focused, do what you got to do, and just go to the front, and you'll be fine. That's all you got to do.
Now, Abigail, as you get older and you progress in your racing career, do you have ambitions of driving up and all the way up to the national circuits maybe someday?
Maybe someday.
So you're going to just keep racing and just see how far it takes you. And now, tell people how much fun is it to be at NCQMA?
It's really fun to be in NCQMA. It's really fun to just watch. I race and it's really fun, but some people think it's fun to watch and they don't want to race. But when they race a lot and they see wrecks and they're not hurt, they feel like they want to race.
One thing that's impressed me about you young drivers, when you come across the scale and the race is over, you all get out and congratulate each other. And that is really classy to me, great sportsmanship. Because, 5 minutes ago you were trying to beat that person. but when the race is over, and most of the time you all get together and go play some football or something in the garage area. So it's something that is so special about quarter midget racing. I'm sure when you go to regional events, you see the same kind of togetherness. Everybody kind of gets along, and even at least the kids do, right? So you maybe someday are going to be racing big time if everything goes well. You think?
Yeah.
So do you have any special plans for Thanksgiving? I know you're going to have, I believe, don't you guys have a dinner for some of the out-of-town?
We have a dinner at Ryan's, and there's going to be some racing going on, and you can come down and watch. So it's going to be a really fun Thanksgiving for me and my family.
So you're going to spend Thanksgiving centered around racing.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a bad thing. Because one thing I also appreciate about NCQMA is it's truly a family sport in that your mom and dad can't bring you and drop you off and let you play a baseball game and come back. They got to be there. And I think you'll probably agree that you've grown closer to your family because you're always with them. Your mom and dad's always looking out for you, and it must mean a lot to know that they're supporting you with everything they can to make you do what you want to do in a race car.
Yes.
Now, but your dad is the crew chief, but he also does a lot of other things at the track. Does he have time to fix your car?
He has time to fix his car. Usually when I get in a wreck or something gets messed up, we either do it in the pit so I can go back out, or he goes straight to the trailer and fixes it and then does other stuff.
Well, I know he's very important. Both he and your mom are very important at the racetrack, and we certainly want to say we appreciate what they and all the volunteers do, because it is a totally volunteer operation, and it really amazes me as to how much is actually accomplished with just volunteers. So do you have anything else you want to say? You want to ask Jake? Jake's a big-time race car driver. I know he helps you guys. You got any questions you want to ask Jake? Because he's kind of quiet here tonight. I want him to say something.
How does it feel to be a big car racer?
Well, you got to learn how to drive it first. But once you get used to it, once you learn the corners of your car and everything and get racing with other people with more experience than you, start racing them and everything, it gets better and just, it's awesome. It's the best feeling in the world, I think.
There you go. Any more questions for either one of you? So you've told her to be calm and focused, and that's how she's going to get around the track this weekend and maybe do well.
You're going to win, right?
Yeah.
Better.
I don't know what your mom would do if you won, because she gets pretty excited when you're just out running heat races or hot laps. So this could be a 911 call if you win.
I just want to thank Jordan Smithson and Mr. Ruggles for helping me get back out there if something's messed up or something. But no matter who it is, they will always help you in SCQMA.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've been impressed with is when you come off the track, a lot of times it may not even be your mom and dad. It's everybody else pulling on the car helping you, and that's impressive. And because the main purpose is to be racing, to be on the track. It does you no good to be behind pit wall trying to fix a car. And of course, now this weekend, will they give us 5 or 3 laps for repairs? Are they using a USAC? Do you know if we do use a local?
No.
You think
I don't know.
You don't know? I'm going to say we get 5. I'll vote for 5. In case there's something serious has to be done to the car.
Yeah.
Do we have another guest lined up, Miss Ellen? You have anything else you want to say, Miss Abigail? I appreciate you coming over here and talking to us. You know, you do very well behind the microphone. You're very well spoken, and you're pretty good at it. So don't take my job, okay? Well, thank you, ma'am. We're going to go to another commercial, and we'll have another guest, Abigail Kinney.
Is your business going to die alone? Never meet the customers of its dreams? Just sit on the couch crying into a carton of ice cream while other businesses are out there thriving? New Expression can help. Without the right marketing, you're a wallflower. Without a great website, you're not going to turn heads. And without social media, you don't even have a friend to tell people what a great personality you have. New Expression can give your business a total brand makeover and get you out there, attracting customers. It used to be about who had the biggest ad in the phone book. Today, customers hit the web to locate and research before they call. If Google isn't steering customers to your site or they're not impressed by what they see, you're missing out. New Expression does web design and can provide a free analysis to see how your site stacks up against the competition. Don't have time to constantly update social media? Want cool custom apps and graphics? New Expression can help there too. From print design to mobile marketing to online presence to brand identity, New Expression can help you express yourself. Find out more at nuexpression.com.
Hey everybody, we're back here at Buffalo Wild Wings in Concord, North Carolina. And we're here with another special guest of ours, Connor Yonchuk. How are you doing, Connor?
Good.
So what are you going to do this weekend? How are you going to tackle the Fall Nationals?
I don't really know. I know the classes I'm going to run, but I don't know the ones I might run.
Are you excited for it, though?
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Yeah, I think you'll do good. You're really good. So
Connor, how do you think your season went this year? You won a few races, and you're always, in any race you get into, you're a threat to win it. But how do you think your season went here in the weekend series?
It went good. It was just, me and Nick got tied, so we had to do the tiebreaker, and it looked like the one Justin Opplinger won it, and I had to win it to be able to beat Nick. And I didn't get to beat him because I got second because Justin took it from me.
So what is your most enjoyable part of being a race car driver? I know you have fun playing football with the kids, but what do you like about it when you get behind the wheel of a race car?
It's fun because getting behind the wheel and you have all this competition, it's pretty much fun because you could go, it's whoever wins is are the ones that are the big competition.
So are you excited about going up against some of the out-of-town drivers this weekend? Some pretty good drivers coming in here from around the country. Are you looking forward to maybe showing them how you can drive too?
Yeah, I've been racing the Fall Nationals for 4 years. This will be my 5th year doing it.
Now, you have another driver in your family that has been pretty impressive, Miss Katie Bug. How much have you talked to her about driving a car? Because she does a great job.
I talk to her a lot, but she doesn't listen to me at first. But when she gets yelled at, that's when she starts listening.
Well, you know, she just kind of became a natural when she got behind the wheel, and she's really impressed a lot of people. I think she's going to be a real good driver just like you are.
Yeah.
Don't you think so?
Yeah.
Can you tell us who supplies your engines for your cars? Who has the power?
Flash Motors, because my dad's the one that owns the business, so I'm pretty much the one he usually works motors.
So you
on.
run Flash engines and Stanley chassis, is that right?
Yeah.
And they seem to be a pretty good combination because I know that combination of engine and chassis has won a lot of races around the country, so it's a pretty good setup.
Yeah.
So your dad has your cars pretty much set up for the weekend, and hopefully you can get out there and really make some noise, or how's it going to come out, you think?
I think I am one of the fastest cars in there, so I think I'll come in probably in the top 5. But it's not always the one that has the fastest car that wins.
Right. Now, I think we're going to have batch qualifying, I think, early Friday morning. Do you like batch qualifying, or do you like heat races or single car qualifying? What's your favorite?
My favorite is single car qualifying because in qualifying you have in batch qualifying you have you're going around and you have a time limit and you're gonna have to pass everybody if you have people in front of you, so you have to pass them all, and that's gonna slow your time down. In heat races, you have to finish in the top 4, which is pretty hard for other kids. They probably come close, but they might not.
Well, do you like starting in the back and passing a lot of cars? Is that fun?
Yeah.
But you probably prefer to start on the pole and stay there, right?
Yeah.
Kind of lead every lap. You've done that a few times. Well, I know you are a great little driver. I enjoy watching you drive, and I know you always have good cars. And but you better watch out, because this little Katie bug she's gonna show somebody something one of these days. Have you seen Katie drive a race car?
No, I haven't.
Oh my goodness! I mean, she's just. It's amazing how these young little girls are just so nonchalant to get out there behind the wheel, and it just comes to them. Of course, it doesn't hurt to have flash engine in your car.
Yeah.
And have a brother who's pretty daggone good at driving a race car. So I think she's going to have a good future. So what advice would you give Connor? I mean, he's used to winning. He's used to being in the top one or two. It's all, a lot of times luck is involved, that you don't get caught up in somebody else's mess, because that happens. What kind of advice would you give Connor for the weekend?
Well, since you're winning everything, I don't think I have any.
Maybe he can give you some advice how to win in your late model.
Yeah.
Connor, what does your future look like in racing? Are you going to continue beyond quarter midgets and maybe do some full body racing, late models, whatever you think?
What I want to do is I want to race quarter midget until I can't race anymore, and then I want to go into late models. And then when I get up into like NASCAR and stuff, I would do NASCAR, but that would be my second choice. My first choice would be at Formula One or Indy cars.
Really? So Formula One that's going to drain Dad's bank account, I think. That's really expensive racing, isn't it, Formula One?
Yeah.
But that's okay. You can handle it, right? Well, thank you for stopping by, Connor Youngchuck. You are a pleasure to watch race, and you're a great interview. And I want you to know that we'll be rooting for you this weekend, and we want to wish you good luck. Hopefully you can pick up a couple wins. That would be great. And maybe Katie Buck can get a win, too. That would be good. Family can all win.
Yeah.
So thanks for stopping by. Okay?
Thanks.
Anything else you want to say? Or
I would like to thank a couple of my sponsors and my friends. I would like to thank my mom and dad, my grandpa and my grandma, and my Nana Papa for supporting me, and Flash Products. And I would like to congratulate Nickelodeon for his championship this year, and I would like to say good luck to the rest of the drivers next year.
Very good. That's Mr. Connor Youngchuck, great little driver from NCQMA. We're going to take a commercial break and come back with another guest.
Hi, this is Miranda McKinney, Athletic Director at Winston-Salem Christian School, and you're listening to TriadSportsCoverage.com.
Hey, it's Biggie, and I'm here with the 2013 Barbecue Pitmasters Alabama champions Ricky Wayne and Pig Daddy of Bibbs Downtown. Gentlemen, what's it like being reality stars?
Hey, it's almost as good as Bibbs Ribs, baby.
We're not Eastern or Western, we're Western.
I'll tell you one thing, I never trust a skinny cook, and these guys got it going on.
Hey, you can bring your family in, or if you like Biggie, come on in on Friday and get your bibs fixed.
It's barbecue with a downtown vibe.
They've got dine-in, takeout, catering, and a private event space. Be sure to follow them on Twitter and Facebook, and you can always check them out at BibbsDowntown.com.
We're back here at Buffalo Wild Wings in Concord, North Carolina. We're here with Jagger Parker. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
So you're here for the big Carolina Fall Nationals.
Yes, sir.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
Now, I recognize your name. You've won a few races around, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
So what do you come in here to NCQMA, and these drivers down here in Carolina are pretty proud of what they do. They win a lot of races. Do you feel good when you beat some of these NCQMA drivers? Because they take a lot of pride in winning races. Does it make you feel pretty good?
Yes, sir.
Now, what's your home track?
Nashville, Tennessee.
So did you win some races out there too, I suppose?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you came in here Sunday or Monday to the racetrack? Monday. So you're out of school all week, and you came out here to race. Did you get some laps in practice yesterday?
Yeah, we got some few laps.
How did the car feel, and how did the track adapt to your driving style?
It's a hard track. So,
is it really?
Yeah.
Is it flatter than what you're used to?
Yes, sir.
Is it? And I guess as Jake will vouch for it, there's a way to get around that track that's really quick, and learning that particular line is going to pick up 1 or 2 tenths a lap, I think, trying to get around that. Of course, when you're doing your batch qualifying, do you like batch qualifying?
Not really.
Because if you got a real fast car, you're probably going to run up on somebody, aren't you? And that's going to ruin everything, all your momentum. You got to back out or pass them, and that's not going to be good. But you'd probably rather do a single car, like Connor was talking, single car qualifying, where you just put your foot in the floor and you make everything happen. We just heard thunder and lightning. Was that thunder and lightning, Jagger?
Yeah.
So is this, you've been here before for Nationals?
Yes, sir.
Did you do it very well here?
We finished third.
Third? Well, that's not too bad. I mean, being on the podium is pretty impressive, right?
Yeah.
What classes are you going to be driving in?
Heavy Honda, Heavy 160, and Heavy World Formula.
So you have 3 chances to win. Which of those cars do you like driving the most?
Probably Heavy Honda.
Really? And why is that?
More competition.
Really?
Carson Hocevar.
Hocevar is going to be in that. Yeah, Hocevar is named to be reckoned with because he's pretty tough, isn't he? Yeah, but you can handle him, right?
Yeah.
Well, when you came out on the track yesterday, obviously your dad set the car up for a certain way, but I would imagine Friday morning your track's going to be a lot different because it's rained. It's going to be probably cooler on Friday morning. It's going to be like in the 30s. So whatever he set the car up to do in practice may not work Friday morning.
Yeah.
Is he a pretty good crew chief? Does he respond pretty quickly to your...
Yeah, he was Dale Jarrett's crew chief.
He was Dale Jarrett's crew chief. So he probably knows a little bit about setting the car up, right?
Yeah.
So you're probably going to be pretty competitive with someone like that setting your car up. So what is your most fun part of being a quarter midget race car driver? I know missing school is probably fun, right?
Yeah. I think it's being around everyone.
Just all the kids that you, and a lot of times you probably have more fun off the track playing, throwing football. I think you were doing that yesterday, and I was down at the track. I saw a bunch of kids out. I think you were one of them that was out with Carson and other kids throwing the football around. But it does make a lot of friendships because when you travel around these tracks, and you're all out there to win races, but you're also out there to become lifelong friends, and that's probably pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did you know Mr. Ruggles before? Did you ever race against him at all? Or?
He was racing when I started.
Well, did you see him race? Because I never saw him race. I don't know if he was any good or not. Was he?
Kinda.
Was he kind of good? But see, he's a big-time driver. He's graduated. He's old, and he's driving a big car, and he's on his way to the top. So what would be your dream in racing someday if you could stay at it for a number of years? You want to be in a NASCAR circuit someday?
Whatever I can get in.
As far as it'll take you. As far as the talent and money will take you.
Yeah.
And money's always important, right? Well, I tell you, we wish you good luck, and thank you for coming down here tonight and supporting this charity that Mr. Ruggles is raising money for. We appreciate that, and we appreciate you taking time away from your busy schedule. I know drivers are pretty busy, and you have all these obligations you have to meet, so the fact that you took time to be with us, we really appreciate it. And we will see you at the track on Friday and Saturday. We'll be taking some pictures and probably interviewing some drivers. We'll be sure to look you up because you're a great young man, and I'm pretty sure you're going to be competitive. So good luck to you. And I tell all the drivers, I hope you win. But, everybody's not going to win, but I still hope they all win. So we'll be looking at you on the track on Friday and Saturday, and good luck.
All right,
okay?
Thank you.
That is Parker Jagger from Tennessee, Jagger Parker. That's Mr. Ed making fun of you. Well, thanks a lot for stopping by, and we again wish you a lot of luck. Another commercial. We will bring on another guest, I believe.
Hey, this is Leonard Burton, varsity basketball player from Winston-Salem Christian School. You're listening to TriadSportsCoverage.com.
Today, community means more than the place you live. It's groups of people connected by shared interests and similar experiences. Your yoga class, your work colleagues, your book club. With all the communities in your life, shouldn't there be one for your financial life? We're First Community, financial experts here to work with you on your personal, business, investments, and insurance needs. That's the power of community.
Hey everyone, we're back here at Buffalo Wild Wings here in Concord, North Carolina, and we have a very special guest to me, my mother. How are you doing, Mom?
I'm good, Jake. How are you?
Sounds great.
Nice
I'm
to see
good.
you.
Good
So
to
you
see
guys
too.
know each other, I guess.
A little bit.
Okay.
Just met
But,
her today.
They say that you always save the best for last.
Yeah.
Is that true tonight, Jacob?
Yeah, that is very true.
Oh, you're such a loving son.
You're welcome.
But we do want to welcome Ms. Shelby Ruggles to the show.
Thank you.
She is, I guess you're my email friend or whatever. We exchange notes about what Jake is doing, and this is our second time down here, and we want to say we appreciate you allowing us to become part of what you guys do. It's fun for us. We look forward to it, and I want to say thanks to Buffalo Wild Wings for what they do, too. It's really good that someone is able to do what you guys do in a restaurant, and you know you're getting some benefit for some people that need something. So it's very admirable that he thinks about that. Like I said, he's a great young man, and I can tell he's the kind of young man that thinks about others before he thinks about himself, and that's good.
Thank you. That's really nice of you to say about him. He is a good kid, and we are very thankful to you and to Buffalo Wild Wings for being able to put these fundraisers on and help others.
Now, are you going to be at the track at all this weekend?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I got to cheer these guys on.
You know, it's really exciting time when the Nationals come through here and these drivers from out of town come on and they face what we think are the best drivers in the country right here.
Oh, yeah.
And I know they all like to win when they come in because it's a feather in their cap when they come to North Carolina and take a first-place trophy home.
Oh, yeah.
I know you've raced with Jake at this track, and you know the history of it, and it's also very competitive. But at the same time, as all these kids say, they have so much fun. I don't think the kids take it as maybe as serious as the parents, because the kids, they all love racing and they all want to win. But when they get that football and go out in the field, that they're having the time of their life.
They have a blast with it. They leave the track, and then they're in the football field, and in the fields playing, having a good old time.
Now, this particular program, we're benefiting the Rowan Southern Baptist Association.
That's accurate, yes.
Now, how did we come up with that particular charity?
Well, when Jake was racing at NCQMA, we would do a fundraiser, a canned food drive fundraiser for the Rowan Southern Baptist Association's food pantry, and they service the Salisbury area people that are in need of food. And so we did that for a few years when I was on the board of directors and when Jake was racing there. And since he's left, obviously I'm not running it anymore. And NCQMA did run it last year as well. And we thought, well, they can always use monetary donations. And Buffalo Wild Wings is awesome about doing this Eat Wings, Raise Funds. And they donate the 10% to whatever the charity is that we are working with. And so they will be donating 10% of customers' dinner bills to the Rowan Southern Baptist Association. And they'll get a check in the mail in the next 3 or 4 weeks.
And see, this time of year in particular, where people are, and what always confuses me about us as human beings, we wait till the Thanksgiving, Christmas to really understand and try to appreciate people that are in need.
Right.
Because like I've heard people say, they eat every day of the year like we do. But it is a time where people do pull together and they raise money or they raise food. And we certainly want to say that we think a lot of what you guys do, and we're privileged to be a part of it, because when you've done something that helps someone, there's just you can't replace that feeling. I always like it when people say, let's do something that's going to benefit even somebody you don't even know. There's nothing in it for any of us. We're here to help somebody.
Right.
And the feelings that we get from doing this is unbelievable, because it makes you feel like that you actually did something that was worthwhile.
Exactly.
We do a lot of sports. We go to a lot of ball games, and when the horn blows, we go home. It's over. But this, raising money for people like this, will have a lasting impression, and maybe we can build on this. Because we love doing these fundraisers. We love doing these kind of shows because it gives us a chance to give back. Because we've been very blessed with what we do, and how lucky I've been as an individual the last 8 or 9 years since I retired. And to be able to share that with people like you makes me feel good. I want to say I appreciate you even thinking about me when you want to do these sort of things.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. And we always have a blast with you guys. It's a lot of fun.
It really is. And knowing that at this time of year, those of you that are out there, for whatever charity you love, please help at this time of year in particular. There's going to be a lot of people tomorrow that won't have a Thanksgiving dinner. And that's a shame in this country. A real shame that there's people that will not have an overabundance of turkey and everything on the plate like we will all enjoy. But I think with the way this attitude this young man has and thinking about other people, he's an example of what, you should be. This goes so much deeper than being a race car driver. First time I talked to this young man, I could tell by talking to him that it wasn't about Jake Ruggles. He gets his time in the spotlight when he's racing, but I don't think that's his number one priority in life, and that's good. That's really good. And the first time we met your family last summer and had a show down here, I went away thinking that's a family that you appreciate because they have everything in the right order. So you've made my life richer by being introduced to me, and you've given us something better to do than just broadcast a sporting event. So we want to say we appreciate that.
Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate that, Mike.
And you can't beat these young quarter midget drivers. The class these kids have is unbelievable.
They're amazing.
And people keep hearing me say that, but I'm telling you folks, when you come down here and you witness one of these races and you witness some of these young men and women, it will blow your mind. And this weekend, when you get tired of football, drive down to Salisbury at the NCQMA track, and you won't be a stranger very long when you walk on the premises because everybody will welcome you and you'll be part of the NCQMA family. It's the way it happens.
It is. It's a family out there.
And you'll see some of the greatest young driving you've ever seen in your life on a racetrack. Isn't that right, Mr. Jake?
Yeah.
See, sometimes you have to prompt him to talk. He gets bashful, then but I bet when he's at home he never shuts up.
He's nonstop.
Well, I thought we had saved the best for last, and I guess we have.
Awesome.
Because we do have one more young man that wants to talk on the air for a few minutes, and we all know what kind of a race car driver Mr. Nick Loden is.
He's
He
good.
has a lot of wins under his belt, too. But again, Shelby, thank you for inviting us to be a part of this, and please feel free to keep us in your thoughts whenever you have something going on and you want us to be a part of it. We'll be glad to, everything we have is pick it up and go, and we'll be here. So
excellent. We'll be doing that again.
And like I told Jordan, I want to go to one of the races. I keep saying I'm going to go to one of you guys'
You have.
races.
You need to get there.
But, it's hard to be in three places at one time. But maybe this summer I'm going to make a point to show up at a race. So
that'd be great.
Good luck to you and your family, and happy Thanksgiving to you.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you and everyone
holidays,
listening.
Because it's people like you that make the world a better place, and I'm glad that you've included us as part of it.
That's very kind of you. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Shelby. Now, Mr. Nick Loden, he is just chomping at the bits to get on the air. I hope he has something important to say. Mr. Loden, how are you?
Good.
We'll put that microphone right down here so we can hear you. How's that?
Good.
Can you hear him now, Donnie? Okay. We have Mr. Nick Loden, who is one of the top drivers at NCQMA. You won how many championships this year? Did
3.
You? And see, you get out there in the classes you race in. You race against some of the best drivers down at NCQMA. How do you end up winning so many races?
I have a good crew chief.
You have no idea. Well, I know you
I have a good crew chief.
Would that be some guy named Andy? I think your mom probably is the backbone of your operation. What do you think?
I don't know.
I bet she does her share. What is your
stuff?
Have you been to the track this week and had any practice laps in for the Nationals?
No.
You haven't turned any laps yet. That's probably a good thing because everybody that tested on Tuesday and set their cars up will have to redo everything Friday morning because the track has changed. It's washed all the rubber. It's rained. It's going to be colder Friday morning. Do you like racing in cold weather, or is that a bit of a challenge to you? What do you think about racing?
I like racing in the heat.
In the heat, so you like those summer races when it's 85, 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Does a car handle worse when it's cold and the track is clean and you get out there and try to set it up? Is it a little bit more difficult?
Yeah. They're a lot faster in the summer.
Is it faster? Get more grip and get around the corners a lot quicker.
Yeah.
So what is what's your hopes this weekend? I know you're going to be facing a lot of good drivers. A lot of them are some of the kids you race every week. But what's your goal for the weekend?
For what?
For this weekend?
Oh, I want to win the senior Honda and Animal, maybe the 160. Try 160. I don't know.
So you're gonna go for everything and try to win.
Yeah.
And you'll be doing the BATS qualifying, and I've talked to a couple of drivers who don't really like BATS qualifying. What's your opinion of doing?
It's fine with me. I mean, national races and stuff, something always bad happens to me in the heat race. I always end up doing bad.
So you'll be ready to go early Friday morning. It'll be a long day Friday. Probably going to be cold. And then you'll come back Saturday. And hopefully you're in 3A mains. That would be great.
Yeah.
You should be able to get to the A mains, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a good car. I know that.
I was supposed to only be able to make 1A main without running any lower mains if I had to run them. But Johnny Kraft didn't make the Animal, so there's no lower mains now.
Oh, so you're going to have a lower main in that one also.
So only lower main is a senior Honda.
But that's going to give you more time to race, and it's fun when you're on the track, isn't it? You're out trying to race somebody. That's when it's fun, when you're on trying to get ahead of somebody. Now, I've seen you this year battle it out a couple different classes. You battled out with Connor Youngchuck a few races. You have fun out there. And you know he's on your bumper, or you're on his bumper. You guys trust each other. You know you're both good drivers. You're both fast drivers. What are you thinking about when you? I mean, obviously you want to win, but one slight move and you could be spun out, or he could be spun out and cost both of you a race.
I don't know.
But when you're on someone's bumper, are you real careful when you go in the corner not to? If you overdrive the corner, you spin them out. You don't want to do that, do you?
I get mad if I spin them out coming
do
off.
You? And you probably don't like being spun out by someone else either, do you? But you control your temper. I've seen you, and I think you're pretty mild-tempered, and you understand how to drive a race car.
I got really mad at Kalamazoo when I spun Michael Clancy when he was in the lead at the National.
Really?
I was in second. That was the closest I've ever been to winning a National.
Oh, wow. Well, you'll get a chance this weekend maybe to pick up some trophies in first place. That'll be great. Mr. Ruggles, what advice you got for the famous Nick Loden? Ingersoll Rand sponsored Nick Loden race car.
Just go for it. Just try your best, do your best, focus. You'll do good.
One of the things that I noticed you like to do too, Nick, at the track is all you kids like to play away from the race car. That's really a lot of fun too, isn't it? Having a chance to play football or basketball with all the kids you race against. Now, when you do get upset at a race car driver, or a little bit, maybe not upset, but you're not real pleased with what he did, you probably go over and talk to him after the race, and you're still buddies, right?
Sometimes I stay away from him.
It takes a little while for your feelings to get back to where they should be, I guess.
If it's my friend, I'll talk to him, but if it's kid I don't really like off the track, I stay away from him.
There's no need to have any kind of a fight in front of, or a squabble. I mean, it's over, and you let it go under the bridge, and you do it again next time. So you're looking forward to a big weekend, and you haven't practiced the car, so when you show up Friday morning, you hope your dad has the setup that you want under the car.
Yeah.
And hope the weather's not too cold. But you might want to bundle up and have your gloves on. It's going to be chilly. But it's Thanksgiving, right? It's always going to be cold in November. Well, thank you for stopping by. Who are all your sponsors on your car? I know you have.
I like RE Suspension, Ingersoll Rand, Monroe Roadways. I think that's all.
I got another question. Tell us a little bit about your experience at the SEMA show. Didn't you go out to Vegas for the SEMA show?
Oh, yeah. My sponsor, Ingersoll Rand, brought me. It was really cool.
So you were signing autographs and doing everything, just like the big drivers. And your mom said you really had a great time and you really were talking to a lot of people. And that was pretty impressive to be invited to that as a guest of Ingersoll Rand.
Vegas is my favorite place to go. I like Vegas a lot.
Now, what do you like about Vegas? I know you don't gamble.
I don't know. I just like walking around looking at stuff.
It's a pretty wild town, a lot of lights, a lot of things going on. It's fun. It's almost like being at the circus all day, isn't it? Yeah. Everything's going full speed. Well, thank you for stopping by. You have a question for Mr. Loden?
Are you going to win this weekend?
Yeah.
All right, good.
Oh, I need one more thing to say. I'd like to say happy birthday to my mom. It's her birthday today.
It is your mom's birthday today, and you know what? I'm glad you didn't forget that because moms have a way of remembering when you don't remember. So happy birthday, Stephanie. We appreciate all she does for the racetrack and what your dad does, and we're looking forward to a great weekend of racing, and hopefully we'll see you win a few races.
Okay.
That's Mr. Nick Loden from the NCQMA, and I believe that's going to wrap up our show, I believe, unless Dave or Ed want to come on and ruin my audience or anything. I mean, it's whatever. But we want to say good luck to all the quarter midget race car drivers who are in town for the Carolina Fall Nationals. They will start early on Friday morning. It'll be a 2-day event with the A-Mains run Saturday. Hopefully they'll have just A-Mains on Saturday. The track is in great shape. They had the cleanup day and everybody worked hard. Mr. Kenny, is the track in top shape? Everything's ready to go. If Mother Nature cooperates, we'll have 2 great days of racing. But we're going to wrap up our second show at the Buffalo Wild Wings. And we want to say thanks to the Ruggles family. Thanks to Jake for being our co-host. Thank you for all you do for these young drivers. I know some of them count on you for advice. And be sure to get Jordan on the straight path with his race car when he starts the season, because he's going to depend on you to be his mentor. So he's got a good one. And again, folks, with this tonight was a benefit for the Rowan Southern Baptist Association. And 10% of all the sales of the food tonight will go to that charity for the to help in their food pantry and help raise money for the holidays. So thank you for everyone who came out. Thank you for those who are listening. We will be back on the air for a college basketball game December 3rd. Salem College will be hosting Maryville from Tennessee, and Winston-Salem will be broadcasting that game. And then Saturday, December 6th, we'll be broadcasting another Salem College basketball game. And December the 15th, we'll have our Santa Claus show, I believe it's going to be, at Bibbs Downtown in beautiful Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So for Jake Ruggles and for Ellen Richardson, our director, and Mr. Donnie Richardson, yeah, you're the world's best producer. I know how to say that. We're going to say good night for now. We just had another shake of the wires in it. But good night and drive safe, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone listening.
Thanks for listening to this week's edition of Sports Talk on Triad Sports Coverage. For more great podcasts, check out the media page on triadsportscoverage.com.